All right, guys. Now, before we start this video, I want to get a few things out the way. A few shout outs, pretty much. Number one, follow me on Instagram, Python versus Pew. I post all my new guns and all the guns that I'm going to be, doing review on there. And you guys get to pretty much just see the journey. So, another thing, shout out to the Fox range, because if it wasn't for the Fox range, pretty much Python versus wouldn't be around. They give me the freedom to pretty much do what I want to do in this range. And if you're local, for example, if you're in the Fairbanks, Alaska area, I believe this is perfect for you guys. They have 5 lanes that you can shoot from. Pretty much you got a 100-yard range here. So if you guys want to go long range and need to sight it in, 100 yards it is for you guys. And then they have a 50 to 25-yard range that you can just go ahead and get your families or your kids or anything like that. Get your own little lane and just have fun shooting. But anyways, guys, enough of the the shout outs and stuff. Let's get right on to the video. How's it going, to YouTube? This is your one and only Python Versus here. And today, guys, today's video is pretty much an updated version of my Scar 15P and 300 Blackout. If you guys haven't seen the first video, please go check it out, because it was pretty much when this bad boy released. I made a nice video on it and everything that I had on it. But let's talk about the updates here. So the old setup that I had, I enjoyed my old setup. My old setup, there was pretty much nothing wrong with it. I liked everything about it except the trigger. The trigger is just pretty much the stock trigger for the Scar. Any Scar, it is beyond dog crap. So when it came to the Scar 15P, when I first brought it, that trigger was just horrible, and that's one of the main things that I was looking forward to changing out instantly when I first got it. But on my last setup, I had an Omega 9K, which I enjoy. It's a 9mm can, but it's rated for 300 Blackout, and it just sounded fantastic on this setup. So over here, as you guys can see, it is completely changed out compared to how my old setup was. So as you guys may know, that they do have the Scar 15P in 5.56 and 300 Blackout. I went with the 300 Blackout version just mainly because it made sense for me. I wanted to use this also as like a home defense build, and it's just something that I take with me, just as a PDW, So I felt that 300 Blackout, it just fits the role, especially in a 7.5-inch barrel that this has. It just fit the role perfectly. So let's start off from the top all the way to the bottom, or how Grantham used to say, tip to butt or something like that. So at the top here, I mainly have a Surefire 7.62 Mini 2. This can right here is pretty nice for a 7.62 can. It is fantastic, like for a 300 Blackout. I could have went with the 300 Blackout specific Surefire can that they had. I think it's called like the SP something. But the problem is that can was a bit too long, and I didn't really want, like for example, the reason why I chose the Omega 9K before is mainly because it kept this compact and nice and small. This one right here is a 7.62 can, still is, it's also called a mini, still keeps it short. And it's very easy for me to just take off and put right back on instantly. So that's the main reason why I went with this can. Now for the optic, I did change out the optic. I had a Romeo 8T before. Fantastic optic, fantastic. But as you guys may know, for the Scar 15P, I wanted to get this thing kitted out. But the problem is, in terms of the handguard, pretty much there was no handguard space. So that's when I had to do a little bit of research. And that's when I found that the Wilcox Boss XE. I'm going to do a separate video just on this optic alone. This is a pretty pricey optic, but it's because all the features that this optic has, it is insane. You can use it on anything else, but I felt like this is just meant for 300 Blackout. They had a 300 Blackout specific version, but I guess now it's like this is like for any other caliber that you have. Mainly because it has 2 adjustments, 2 zeros that you can have, and pretty much what I call it is subs and unsubs. So as you guys can see here, let me see if this focuses. You have this sort of setup. You have 2 zero settings. Here's setting 1, and then here's setting 2. So yeah, this thing is super neat. But this optic also has, this is an infrared IR laser, a Viz laser. Now the good thing about this optic is also that it comes with its own pressure pad, which is It is one annoying pressure pad too on top of it. It's so big. But yeah, it comes with his own pressure pad there. This Optic is kitted out. So like I said, I mainly wanted this because putting a laser up front, when I had everything else on there, it was a bit tough to grab on. There was no rail space, and it was getting closer to almost the freaking, you know, the muzzle, and it was bad. So I needed to figure something out, and this is the solution. I feel like this Optic was meant for the Scar 15P. Mainly any 300 blackout in general, because you know the Rattler, the SIG Rattler is also a shorty boy, and that Optic is perfect for the SIG Rattler. But anyways, let's get back to the topic here. I did change out the handguard. I went with the KDG M-Lock rail for the Scar 15P. Now, this is perfect because, as you guys may know, the Picatinny rails that they had, it was a little bit, first of all, they're very robust on top of that, and super thick. All right, they were super thick. So depending on your hands type, it's very hard to just clamp it around, and that was a big issue that I was having. So now with the KDG rail that we have there, is light on top of that, so and it's very easy to just grip around and get literally your hand like right over the rail. In case you want to do like a C-clamp, you know, maneuver and stuff like that, it is just perfect. So the KDG rails for the Scar 15P, fantastic. Love this thing. Over here at the bottom, I went with the PMM mag weld that they got for the Scar. I believe that it was meant for the 16, but it also fits the 15. So this thing is pretty neat because, you know, when you want to do quick reloads, you can just slide that bad boy in there and you're fine. You're good to go from there. I also went with the grip, the PMM grip that they got on their site. This thing is perfect. As you guys may know, the regular Scar grip that they have, it's not the best. A lot of people prefer to change out the grip for a Magpul one. But yeah, part of my machines, they had this one available, and no complaints whatsoever. Now, like I said before, as you guys know, when it comes to Scar, trigger is horrible. The trigger, nobody likes a trigger on there. So I did one with the Geisley Super Scar trigger, and cannot go wrong. All right, like I said, I made a video talking about the Geisley Super Scar trigger and how it's like one of the upgrades that you guys need to do. You cannot go wrong with the Super Scar trigger. So that's one recommendation I can tell you. If you do get a Scar 15P or any Scar in general, change out that damn trigger, man. Now let's talk about the stock. Let's talk about the stock, because the Scar 15P, as you guys may know, it is the Scar SC. That's what they call it. Now this stock is called pretty much the FN PDW Scar SC stock. That's pretty much what it's called. They discontinued that stock, so it was a bit hard for me to come by this stock, but I finally obtained it. Now, functionality wise, I despise this stock. This stock is not the best. Like I said, I mainly only got it, it's just to get the look going, you know, the same look as the Scar SC, you know, just to complete that look.
You're right about the stock though. Like, I don't know.
It is fucking ass, dude.
Yeah.
For like the price of it, and then I could see why they discontinue it, dude. I was like, what the fuck? But it's just like, oh man, in terms of functionality wise, I hate it, man. I do prefer the UGG boot, 100%. I despise it. Look wise, it's sexy as fuck. So look wise, it has to look. You know, that's some of the points. You know what they say, you know, when it comes to shooting, you got to look good shooting. So when it comes to the gas regulator on the Scar 15P, I still with the stock one. There was no issue with it whatsoever. I have it right now currently on the sub settings, and she shoots fantastic. Haven't had any flaws, any issue, any malfunctions or anything like that. She shoots great. Anyways, guys, this is Python Versus, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video of my Scar 15P complete setup. This is part 2, by the way, part 2. A lot of you guys have been asking for an update on it, and that is the update. Like I said, I have thousands of rounds through this, and this is what I came up with in terms of the ideal setup for the Scar 15P. But yeah, anyways, guys, if you guys haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share the video with a friend. There will be a lot of more content coming out soon, and that's pretty much it. You guys stay safe out there and stay dangerous.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then and you know I'm gon' feed 'em. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got it